Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to, of course, The Sports Lovers, where we talk everything relating to sports. In today's video, we are going to be talking about SEC Media Days. We were not able to get a video out Friday, but last week was a very good posting week for us. We posted every single day except Friday. I plan to do the same thing and post every single day this week as well, starting with SEC Media Days recap. So we're going to recap SEC Media Days, obviously talk about what each coach said, what their main points were in each of their speeches that they gave at Media Days in Atlanta. But first, if you are new to the channel, you already know what to do. Leave a like, subscribe, turn that bell on as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Obviously, later on in the week, we're going to have our Vanderbilt Dynasty. We're going to have our Road to Glory. We will do something tomorrow a little bit different. We are going to be predicting every college game day location on tomorrow's video. So stay tuned for that one. A little bit of a fun video for you guys. We know where week 1 is going to be, but we're going to give predictions for week 2 and beyond. So stay tuned. That's going to be a fun video for you guys coming on Tuesday. Hit that sub button. Leave a comment down below. Of course, later in the week, we will have, of course, our videos where we will play our Dynasty and our Road to Glory. And then we will probably recap ACC Media Days on Friday because that is going on this week as well. So hit that sub button. Leave a comment down below. And without further ado, let us go ahead and hop right in to recapping SEC Media Days. All right. Starting us off with Brian Kelly, we are going day by day here in order of the coaches that they spoke. We're going to start off with Brian Kelly of LSU. Brian Kelly gave a speech on Monday talking about how they are focused on Clemson. They are not distracted by the outside noise regarding the season openers, and how they are focused on Garrett Nussmeier and his development. Kelly also stated that this is their best roster to date. Yes, you heard that correctly. This is LSU's best roster to date when it comes to college football since 2019, I believe is what he said. And yeah, it should be, right? We got 5 stars across the board. We got Garrett Nussmeier coming back. We got Whit Weeks coming back as well. All of these guys, Harold Perkins coming back on the defensive side. Not going to be shocked if LSU makes a run here in college football, but that is what Brian Kelly said. That is his main points and his main recap there of his opening remarks when it comes to college football SEC Media Days right there. Moving on to Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin, I don't know what he does. I really don't, right? I'm very confused on what Lane Kiffin's opening remarks were. Yeah, I'm just very, very confused. But Lane Kiffin, his main points this year were they are focused on this year's roster, not last year's, but they are focused on moving forward with Ole Miss football, right? They've got some really good, young, talented guys like 5-star recruit Caleb Cunningham who committed to Ole Miss. They've got some guys in the defense, on the defensive lineman side that are really young as well. They are focused on turning the page in that next chapter of Ole Miss football, and that is what Lane Kiffin is talking about. He also commented on Hugh Freeze's golf game, saying that he's been getting pretty good at that one as well. Just a little bit of a joke right there. But that was my main takeaway from Lane Kiffin, is that he is focused on the future. He's not focused on last year. Obviously, he's grateful for last year. He's had 3 10-win seasons, I believe, at Ole Miss. But he is focused on the future and building this year's roster to where it is a championship contending team. And yeah, Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss, they're focused on this year's team. Now, moving on, we got Shane Beamer out of South Carolina. Shane Beamer actually gave a lot of intel when it comes to, the playoff format and when it comes to their roster in general as well. So we got a lot to break down here with that one. Shane Beamer said that he knows that the expectations for South Carolina have increased, right? Last year at this time in SEC Media Days, nobody was expecting them to take off. Yes, they knew they had LaNorris Sellers, but they didn't know that he was going to be a beast that he was in this year's college football season. He says that he knows that the expectations have increased for South Carolina and that he knows that they are able to compete, of course, and that they are confident in the roster that they have and are more focused on player development now more than ever. He also mentioned, and I'll hit on this one in a second, that there are active talks about expanding the playoff, and they are not opposed at keeping the same format. Now, what that means, right? They're at a 5-11, I believe, format right now, but he said it outright at SEC Media Days in his opening remarks, or he was asked a question about it, I believe, that he and that the committee is not opposed to expanding to a 5-12 kind of format or something like that. So I'm very interested to see about the college football playoff format and see how it changes. I believe he was one of the only ones that where it came to him, obviously, mentioning the college football playoff format and stuff like that. So, again, Shane Beamer says that he knows the expectations for South Carolina has increased. Lenore Sellers is coming back, and that they are focused on the roster that they have right now and mainly on player development for this upcoming season, and talked about the college football playoff. So, that is Shane Beamer for you guys. Let us go ahead now and talk about Clark Lea at Vanderbilt, who now have expectations this year. Clark Lea says that Vanderbilt is a little bit of a work in progress, obviously, and that they have to focus on the little things if they want to be competing for a college football playoff berth, right? Diego Pavia at SEC Media Days spoke on this very, very highly, that Vanderbilt wants to compete for a national championship more than ever, or at least now more than ever, right? They got Eli Stowers at tight end. They got some dudes on the defensive linemen as well. But they got to focus on the little things if you are Vanderbilt football. Clark Lea also said that they're bringing back most of their offensive production from last year, and that they will have some leaders in the locker room this year as well. Obviously, like I mentioned, Diego Pavia, Eli Stowers, I believe their running back's a junior right now. So they do have some dudes on that offensive production. They are bringing back some of the higher side of production rates here in 2025, and I'm very, very interested to see what happens with this Vanderbilt-focused football team. And he also says, this kind of goes in lines with the little things, but he said that they must avoid in-game mistakes if they want to win and compete in the SEC. They must be perfect in every game if they want to be able to win. Nobody's giving Vanderbilt any more sorry things anymore. It is now time for them to put their head down and go to work, because they have expectations this year after coming 7-6, having a great season last year. Diego Pavia said that he's here to win the national championship, and I'm very interested to see if he actually can get to that spot. So that is Clark Lea for you guys. Let us go ahead and wrap it up here on day one with Kirby Smart and Georgia. Kirby Smart did talk a lot of relationships at Georgia as well. He said he knows that relationships matter at Georgia and that they are key for them competing in the SEC. You still got to get 5-star recruits. Don't get me wrong. College football, yes, right now is a NIL transfer portal thing more than ever right now, but you still got to get recruits if you want to be able to win, because you got to develop these guys as well and keep them in school at Georgia if they want to win national championships. So that's probably what he's talking about when it comes to relationships. He also knows that Georgia's roster is mostly retaining some sophomores and freshmen from last year. Their quarterback's a sophomore right now, Gunnar Stockton. He was at SEC Media Days as well. They will be really young, they will be inexperienced, but they do get a lot of their really good games at home this year, which is very, very good. I believe they get Tennessee and Texas at home and Alabama at home this year as well. So there's that right there. He also stated, and I feel like a lot of coaches did not really hit on this as much as I would have liked them to, that college athletics need to feel more like college athletics again, and says that they need to emphasize the student and student athlete. I think that role right there has reversed these last few years, and I think it needs to go back right now. So again, Kirby Smart hitting on some of the most important things there at SEC Media Days. So let us go ahead and move on to Hugh Freeze at Auburn. Hugh Freeze, obviously the man, the myth, the legend right now in the golf world when it comes to college football head coaches. Hugh Freeze did express his excitement for the upcoming season. He praised the fan base as well. He praised Butch Thompson, Bruce Pearl as they made Final Fours and regional and super regional appearances in their respective sports. He said that the team is bigger, faster, and stronger, and that the chemistry is unlike anything we've ever seen before at Auburn, which is very good, and we'll hit on that one in a second here. But he says the potential is limitless and that Auburn will be in the playoff discussion come November. Now, keep in mind, he said discussion. He did not say, yeah, we're going to be in the college football playoff. He said that they will be in the college football playoff discussion when it comes in November. Obviously, you got to win games first to get there, and I think that he has to win games in order to keep his job, right? There were very close games last year that we should have won. A lot of close games last year. The Oklahoma game, the Arkansas game, the Alabama game was one possession away from us winning as well. There were couple of one-possession games where we did not have to have won that game yet. So obviously, chemistry is going to play a huge factor when it comes to this one, and it being higher than ever before is really, really exciting for the future of Auburn athletics. So that is what Hugh Freeze spoke on at SEC Media Days right there. Now, let us continue on to day number 2 with Josh Heupel at Tennessee. Josh Heupel highlighted the program's success and how many NFL players they've actually had over the last 30 seasons. I think if you look it up, it's actually a really good amount of players that have translated from Tennessee football to the NFL, right? Nothing compared to Alabama or LSU, but it's still a really solid number for sure. He talked about the quarterback battle, and he stated how confident he is that whoever can win the quarterback battle will get some wins in this season and can lead Tennessee to another playoff berth, right? Joey Aguilar right now is the projected starter of that Tennessee football team, and I wouldn't be shocked if he is the starter come August in that fall camp kind of range as well. He talked about the defense and how it has improved. He said that they have some endless guys, endless talent across the board. They have some really good 5-star kids on that defensive side of the ball, and I'm very interested to see how well that's going to translate to college football, right? How inexperience is going to help with that. So that is Josh Heupel's main points. Let us talk about Steve Sarkisian. He said that Texas has entered year 2 in the SEC, right? And he said that they now know the expectations and how they have to meet them, right? Arch Manning is going to be the starter, so a new look at quarterback going forward there. He says that this team is a championship level team and that they have depth at nearly every position. Obviously, that's going to come at a school like Texas where you got that oil money, right? So, again, Steve Sarkisian hitting on the main points. Says that the new wide receivers and Arch may have some potential communication errors, but nothing that shouldn't be fixed come down the stretch in the season right there. Now, moving on, we got Kalen DeBoer out of Alabama. Says that they need to improve in big game situations and on the road performances to be competitive in the SEC, right? There were a couple of times last year where they blew some games because they weren't really experienced, quote unquote. That South Carolina game, they almost dropped at home where South Carolina was one play away from beating them. That's kind of my most notable one, but they did end up winning that game. However, they did state that they have built the offensive and defensive line up and that they are ready, or more than ready, for this, or on that front. They are more than ready on that front than ever before. That's what I was trying to get out, so bear with me right there for a second. But Kalen DeBoer hitting on all the defensive and the offensive line stuff, the little things, right? It's the little things that is going to win you college football games. Clark Lee knew that at Vanderbilt. Kalen DeBoer needs to learn that at Alabama, and he says that they have built up the defensive line and stuff like that as well. So that is what Kalen DeBoer said. Now, let us go ahead and talk about Jeff Lebby here at Mississippi State University. Says that 80% of the roster are either first or second year players, right? We did see that translate last year where a bunch of their starters were freshmen on the field. That is why they only won 2 or 3 games last year in the SEC. They brought in some SEC experienced coaches to, of course, help them on their staff, which is going to be really crucial in SEC games, right? That is kind of the reason that you bring in these guys. You want to win these SEC games, and you want these young guys to kind of experience what it's like to playing in the SEC. So if these SEC coaches can lead these young guys in the right direction in these SEC games, then it can translate to winning as well. Jeff Lebby also wrapped it up by praising the athletic directors and the staff, thanking him for the new upgraded facilities that they got as well. That should definitely translate on the field a little bit as well. We've learned that athletic facilities are a key, important piece in your college football team, and that is why Mississippi State is obviously talking about that and thanking their athletic director for those facilities as well. Now, let us talk about Billy Napier and the Florida Gators. He says that Florida is healthy and that they have made some real progress this offseason, right? Well, what does progress look like? They were banged up a lot last year on the defensive side of the ball, and that's got to translate, right? You got to have healthy guys in the SEC to win games. They won a couple of games, but I think that's the main reason why it took them a little bit of a start to get there. They were banged up through the year last year. That Miami game did kind of torture them a little bit this year. And yeah, Florida got to get healthy if you want to start winning games as well. He also said that they have one of the best academic teams in the SEC and that they have some experienced players coming back and that they have the leadership that it takes for them to win football games as well. And they state that the Gators can go toe-to-toe with any team in the country. That's a lot for them to hit on right there. But, again, that is what Billy Napier said. Let us talk about Brent Venables and Oklahoma. He said that they are expected to compete in the SEC this year with their experienced players that they have. For example, he did mention Mater, the quarterback that they have out of Oklahoma State, Oklahoma State, transferring to Oklahoma this year. He also notes the additions to the coaching staff that they made with some SEC caliber coaches as well. So that's Oklahoma for you. Let's talk about Missouri a little bit, just kind of running through these guys. Don't want to make this video too long for you, but says that they prioritize production and that are ready to compete now in the SEC, right? Last year, losing Brady Cook, losing Luther Burden, those guys are really, really good players, but when you get some of those caliber players back, that is when you start to become a really good football program and you get on the football map. So they are bringing some production back this year. They are bringing some more experienced quarterbacks as well, which I think will lead to a little bit of success for them in SEC conference play as well. And he did praise the leadership from the athletic director and the rest of the Missouri staff. Now, let us talk about Mark Stoops and Kentucky. As Mark Stoops said that last season was not good enough and that they must do better. He said that Kentucky brought in 50 new players and that they are ready for this season to start and that they have new leaders on the coaching staff and proven SEC winners. So that is what Mark Stoops said. Sam Pittman and Arkansas says that they have talent to compete, bringing in 50 transfers and 19 high school signees. They are bringing in a lot of new players. And that is going to translate here, I believe, for them really well. I think that if you get some of these transfers that are juniors and seniors, they can lead this team to a really good college football season in 2025. Highlights the schedule and says that they have a chance to make some noise in the SEC. When you play teams like LSU, Alabama, and Auburn in the SEC in your daily schedule, you are going to have a chance to make some noise in the SEC. And he plays the leadership from the players in the locker room as well. Mike Elko, the final one that we will talk about here at SEC Media Days before I let you guys loose at Texas A&M, said that they have strong leadership and returning players who can be voices on and off the field. Marcel Reed is coming back for another year at Texas A&M. He's going to be really talented and really fun to watch in the offense as well. Their backfield has some seniors, I believe, as well. He says that they know that they have the roster to compete for a national championship this year and that he wants to build a championship culture at Texas A&M. So that is everything that pretty much these SEC coaches hit on in their respective opening remarks at SEC Media Days. Let me know what you thought of the video in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, turn that bell on, as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Again, tomorrow we are going to be posting our our college game day predictions. So stay tuned for that one. Hit that sub button, leave a comment down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace.